Mike, how does everything play out in San Francisco with the Aiyuk situation? Is anything going to happen? Is he going to play for him this year? Like, how do you see that going?
It's funny. He'd been very compliant. He hadn't asked to be traded. There was a time before the draft where, as they were haggling over what he is worth, his agent was given permission to see if other teams would pay him what he was looking for. And at the time, it was $28 million a year. It's probably higher than that now because the market's changed. I'm told there were 5 teams that were ready to go and give him what he wanted, what the 49ers wouldn't give him. But they couldn't work out a deal with the 49ers for a trade. And, from the 49ers perspective, this is where it gets a little screwy. You've got 5 other teams that were willing to pay him what he wants and give you something to get him. Why won't you just pay him what he wants? So he's taken the stand now. He's asked to be traded. We'll see if he shows up for camp. But one thing about the 49ers, we've seen guys, you got to be the squeaky wheel to get paid. You got to be Deebo Samuel, demand to be traded for weeks, and you get paid. Nick Bosa, hold out until right before the start of the season. You get paid. I think Aiyuk is shifting into, I'm done being a nice guy here because that didn't give me anything. I'm going to start agitating to either get the contract I deserve or get traded to a team that'll pay me. I think one thing we can all agree on, $14.1 million is criminally low for a guy who was a second-team All-Pro, second in the league in yards per target. He had 1,300-plus receiving yards on only 105 targets last year. Imagine what he could do if he was getting the ball thrown his way 180 times like CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, and Florio, 81% of his catches were either for a first down or a touchdown. So it's just like very important catches as well. So not only like distance, time, able to create space, seemingly a perfect fit for Brock Purdy. And Purdy's a dog. All these highlights showcasing Aiyuk showcases even more that Brock Purdy is also criminally underrated and underpaid in this entire thing. But this time with this rookie quarterback is when you can spend money everywhere. San Fran has seemingly already done that. You talked about this guy. You just rattled through a couple guys that held out and had some things. San Fran's paid a lot of people. You don't think they're just waiting to see if Pearsall is a guy and then they can let Aiyuk hit the market? What do you think they ultimately end up doing here?
I think what they would have liked to have done is hold everyone in place for one more year. Because next year they got to pay Brock Purdy. Next year it's probably goodbye to Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. Maybe Trent Williams moves on after this year. They wanted to hold this nucleus together and give it one more run at trying to get that Super Bowl win that they've been unable to get under Kyle Shanahan. And as long as Aiyuk's willing to take $14.1 million per year or for this year, then it works. But when he says, no, wait a minute, 14-1, no, the market's 35 now. I'm not taking 14-1. I want my contract now. That's what's keeping it from happening. And I think at some point they need to consider, and I don't know that they'll do this, but there was some chatter before the draft about the Steelers maybe trading for Deebo. At some point, maybe for the 49ers, you say, okay, Aiyuk's forcing us to make our choice now. Maybe we trade Deebo and pay Aiyuk. I wouldn't rule that out as a possibility because it was a possibility before the draft. Maybe it's something that could still happen.
That would be such a Niners move that we have drama with this guy, not with this guy. But we do have to make a play here, so we'll get rid of and then we'll bring in, just like they had Jimmy G. We bring it up. They had Jimmy G on a different field in training camp. They celebrated the Jimmy G era being over. Like they even ran a clip, everything, it's over. And then he ends up back playing meaningful minutes. It's like they have an ability to deal with the drama somehow over there in San Fran. Every good team's going to have to do that.